All right, tell me how many times this has happened. You make a plan for your entire day, create a list of tasks you need to complete, and aim to finish each one exactly at the time you intended. Now, maybe some of you would answer, sometimes or never. You might think the reason behind this is a lack of motivation, procrastination, or laziness, which leads to planning failure. Psychologists say that due to a psychological bias, we humans have a natural tendency to overestimate our abilities. This means we often overestimate our capabilities. So, when someone asks us how long it will take to complete a task, most of us respond overly optimistically. For example, if a task realistically takes 2 days, we might think we can complete it in 1. But in reality, it takes longer than we had planned. So the next time you're planning something, remember to be as realistic and practical as possible. Otherwise, you'll fall into the trap of planning failure and end up failing. Or, you might make commitments to others that you can't fulfill. This psychological fact will help you in making decisions every day and will always come in handy throughout your life. We will continue to share more amazing psychological facts that will be useful in your daily life. But for now, we challenge you. Did you pass or fail in watching this video with full focus until the end? Do let us know in the comments at the end of the video. Number 2. Contrast effect. Imagine 2 bowls of water, one with icy cold water and the other with normal water. Now, if you put your right hand in the icy water for 1 minute and then put both hands in the normal water, your left hand will feel normal, but your right hand will feel as if it's in hot water. There's a psychological phenomenon behind this called the contrast effect, which suggests that an average thing can appear good when compared to something bad. Similarly, a reasonably expensive item can seem reasonably priced when compared to something outrageously expensive. We tend to like a 57 person over a 52 person. But if you put that 57 person next to a 62 person, the value of the 57 person diminishes in our eyes. That's why most people consider buying a phone for $10,000 to $15,000, but due to the contrast effect, they end up purchasing one for $18,000, $20,000, or even $25,000. This contrast effect is used in marketing as well. Number 3. You must never disagree. This psychological trick is something we all use in our daily lives, especially in our communication. According to us, you should also use this powerful trick if you want people to listen to you and understand your point of view. Never start by disagreeing with them. Don't outright say, "I don't agree with you at all." Cognitive neuroscientists at University College London and MIT conducted research where they paired 42 volunteers and asked them to guess the value of a real estate property while their brains were being scanned in real time. Each person decided the value according to their perspective. But when the partners agreed on the valuation, cognitive receptivity and openness regions in their brains lit up. However, when they disagreed, these brain regions shut down, making it impossible for them to come to an agreement. So whether it's your personal life or professional communication, this works both as a solution and a problem. You can judge the long-term health of any relationship by how every argument improves or worsens that relationship. You don't want your relationships to deteriorate or end up in unwanted arguments or fights. Never start by disagreeing. Doing so will shut down their brain, and they won't be able or willing to listen to you. This will only escalate the conflict. This psychological trick will be very useful in your daily life. When you don't agree with someone, start by saying, "Look, you're right from your perspective, but I think," and then continue with what you want to say. Number 4, the story bias. Which of these 2 stories by English novelist E.M. Forster would you remember more? First one, the king died and the queen also died. Or the second, the king died and the queen, in her grief, also died. Comment below and tell me, option A or B. Now, if you chose option B, you're not alone. We are all part of the story bias. In the first story, both deaths happen simultaneously. But in reality, there's a gap where there's a story, a struggle of the queen. Story A is a factual report, whereas story B is associated with meaning and emotion. Advertisements have mastered this by selling more of the story behind a product than the product's benefits. For example, look at author Yuval Noah Harari. He has sold 28 million copies of his book Sapiens, making him the most successful anthropology author of all time. However, if you read his book, you'll see that he doesn't discuss any new or unique ideas. In fact, he admitted that he didn't conduct any new research for this book. Instead, he explained existing information through masterful storytelling, which led to such extraordinary results that even he never imagined. Number 5. Perception is reality. Have you ever noticed that hours fly by while you're deeply involved in a task, but waiting for just 15 minutes outside feels like hours? In the physical world, we measure time in hours, minutes, and seconds. But in our mental world, time doesn't work that way. It depends on time management and uncertainty. The more engaged you are in something, the less sense of time you have. On the other hand, the more uncertain you are about time, the longer it seems to take. For example, you know that companies like Uber and Ola haven't reduced the waiting time for a taxi. It still takes the same amount of time to get a cab as before. But they have eliminated the uncertainty by showing you exactly how long it will take, 5 or 10 minutes. This makes time pass quickly. Similarly, mirrors are installed in elevators so that people remain busy looking at themselves and don't realize how much time has passed. Waiting rooms often have something to play with or read so that the wait doesn't feel long. By using this principle, you can change the value of your time. Number 6. The sunk cost fallacy. You've often heard stories of people who had a successful business at one time, but to keep it running, they kept taking loans, and eventually, they had to shut down the business while accumulating even more debt. This happened because they thought, I've already invested so much money. Maybe if I invest more, I'll recover my previous losses. But because they had invested so much time, hard work, and money in that business, they couldn't see that it was failing. This is the sunk cost fallacy. In an attempt to recover one loss, we make more losses, which can sometimes be very dangerous. You might be in a toxic relationship where your partner repeatedly hurts you and apologizes. Your friends suggest you end the relationship, but you say, I've invested so much energy and time into this relationship. Ending it is not a solution. The sunk cost fallacy becomes most dangerous when you've invested your time, money, and energy, and the more you've invested, the higher your chances of falling into this trap. Number 7. The specificity trap. This concept is widely used in the medical field. For instance, if someone has a migraine, cause could be anything from a viral infection to a brain tumor. But doctors first treat it as a viral infection because the base rate of viral infections is higher compared to brain tumors. When evaluating something, make sure you don't fall into the specificity trap. Simply put, many people use this trap to lie. They add a lot of intricate details to their lies to make them believable. But if you remove those details, their lies become obvious. If you want to catch such people lying, ask them more questions and details related to the matter. Some point, both you and they will realize that their lie has been caught. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to support the growth of this channel. Also, turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss any upcoming videos. Thank you for watching.